I don't know if I will make love like
Oh,
in a
anywhere.
tent. I want a cabin too.
I mean, that's true. But what if you had someone that was like, get
I
in the
would do
tent?
it. I would do
I
it.
know. Y'all, we're trying to workshop our intro right now. I'm trying to
It's
figure
not
out.
going well.
Morgan keeps cutting me off. I have very interesting things to say. People love what I have to say, okay? And you won't let me say it. So, and now she's giving me a face. Here we are.
If you have to say people love and are interested in what you have to say,
I don't have to. I am letting the viewers know that I have good things to say, good content that you will never hear. Because Morgan
is the editor
is holding me back. Exactly.
holding you back. Oh,
I feel it.
1 year has changed us, you guys. We'll see how much longer this goes. We've
I
taken
mean,
a
let's be
turn.
real. We bicker a lot. You guys are lucky that you don't get to hear all of the bickering that truly happens behind the scenes.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
All of
agree on a
our
lot, but the things we
we
don't
do.
agree on, we do not agree
Mm-mm.
on.
No. We're
Mm-mm.
both pretty stubborn. Ryann. Yes.
Do I have to admit that on
Self-awareness.
I have
You're not,
self-awareness. Am I
you just
stubborn?
got yes.
I will think about that one. We'll workshop that as well.
Well,
No, fair. I am. I'm pretty set in what I believe or what I think, but it makes for interesting conversation, which is why I'm saying I had straight gold, baby, that you'll never hear. Because Morgan.
because I'm stifling her light. Yeah, that's
I
me.
don't know which other way to put it.
Oh, I've said it all for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
God. Anyway, well, now I don't really feel like asking Ryann how she's doing.
yeah. She can feel it coming off of
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, I already know. So, anyway, moving
Eh,
on.
yeah. How are you all? Let's tap into
Oh,
you. You know what I mean?
yeah.
A little reflexive exercise here. You know?
Okay. Are you going to lead like a guided meditation?
Yeah.
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 I
Later.
thought you were going to be like, I could totally lead a guided meditation.
No, ooh, that's interesting. I've never tried like guided meditation. I've done like mindfulness stuff, but
Yeah.
like I would like, ooh, would you do like hypnosis? Would you do that?
Yes, I
Mm,
would. Yes, I
mm.
think that's very interesting.
It is. But
Yeah.
like, would you fake it even if you weren't hypnotized?
Maybe just because I'd want it so bad, you know?
Yeah. She hypnotizes herself just from sheer will.
Right. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting to see. I think I'm a little bit of a skeptic in most things, but I'm open-minded to hypnosis. What about you?
Oh yeah, I definitely want to do it. I
Yeah.
feel like I'd fall asleep though. It's not the same thing though, right?
Well, no.
No, it's not
Yeah,
supposed to be.
right.
Similar though, right? You're
You just
like
want to go
in
take a nap somewhere, huh?
yeah, right. She's like, you're supposed to snap out of it like 20 minutes ago.
Right.
No, I would want to try it, but I don't know too much about it, but I would definitely be interested to try it. Do you have to like clear
Yes.
an afternoon?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. So I would want to do it with like maybe like a hypnotherapist or something
Okay.
like that. I wouldn't want to do it like, when you go to like the fair and they bring people
Oh.
up on stage and do
Oh
that,
God, no. That's
because
embarrassing.
that would be embarrassing. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
gonna make you like walk like a chicken or something.
I was
So I don't
literally
want to do
thinking
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's like the go-to.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah, yeah.
hypnotist, get some new material, you know?
Not David Blaine Morgan. They're just doing what they can.
Right. They haven't made it to Vegas yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
Ah, fair.
Fair. All right. Well,
We agree on that.
we agree on that. There
Yeah.
we go.
On that note, what are we talking about?
So, today we are talking about sexual compatibility.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, we know how much you guys like the sexual episodes, so here we go. Extra
Sexual.
emphasis, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. As always, we're not experts, we're not doctors, we're not even really on the same page today, so let's see how this episode goes.
Dive in.
Let's dive in. Yeah. All right. So, what is sexual compatibility? So, it is how well you and your partner balance each other's sexual needs, how strong your communication is around sex, and how satisfied you both feel. Sexual compatibility looks like when you both feel seen, heard, held, and fulfilled in your sex life. When there's a mismatch in your sexual compatibility because of innate differences or life circumstances, one or both of you might feel like your needs aren't being met, a lack of communication, and a lack of sexual pleasure.
Mm, there it is. There
Yeah,
it is, folks.
it's important.
Oh, yeah.
Important. Yeah. So, what influences sexual compatibility? So, the interplay of your individual sexual needs, desires, and libido levels and how they play out together. So, all of that needs to be in tune if you are feeling good about your sexual compatibility.
Mm.
This can be influenced by so many things. And if you find that your sexual compatibility has changed, how many times do you think I'm going to trip over compatibility?
Keep a tally right
I
now. I
felt
already
it. I
two.
felt my mouth like start to mess up. Um, and if you feel that your sexual compatibility has changed, it may be due to a variety of factors. So, what might these be? All right.
Diet.
So, what'd you say?
Diet?
Diet.
I know.
That's not on the list, but maybe.
Mm, yeah.
Is that your biggest?
I mean, for anal sex, yeah.
Oh, there it is.
It matters.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. So first one is different sexual preferences. So maybe you have different definitions of sex, or one of you might be on the asexual spectrum, have different kinks, or want to explore different things in your sex life. There's so many things that can go into sexual preferences and whether or not they match up with your partners.
Ooh, yeah, that's tough. That
Have
reminds
you
me. Oh,
what?
what?
No, you go ahead.
Well, that just reminds me of one of the first times that me and Ben talked about what type of porn we watch.
Mm,
And we watch very different things, which totally makes sense though for like the way that, men and women experience sex differently.
mm-hmm.
Um but then I actually was watching like one of these influencers that I follow on YouTube. She does like these really interesting video essays on like different topics.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the topics was about femininity being played out. It wasn't like specific to porn, but it was just like about how femininity is played out and like how women tend to respond more to like sexy femininity than they do to like
Mm,
sexy men. Not all the time,
yeah.
but I think it does make sense for me because I don't really like straight porn. I don't
Mm,
like it doesn't do anything for me. And I think that some of that does translate to the bedroom as well as to what I like. And so I think that that was
oh,
like I was like, "Oh, okay, I see what he likes." Like he showed me some videos that he would typically watch, and then I
yeah.
showed him videos that I would watch, and I was like, "I see what you like." You know what I mean? And that showed me a
Right.
lot about our sexual compatibility. It was similar to like the love, like how you like to receive love, or what is it called? What's that quiz called?
Oh, oh my gosh. People talk about it all the oh
Love
my
language. Love
yes,
language.
yes, yeah.
Yeah. It was similar to that, like figuring out like the ways that you like to be loved, but also the ways that you like to be pleasured, right? Like what would you watch because
Ooh,
those are things that turn you on,
right.
goes along with your sexual compatibility, right? Like are you compatible, right? If we were just like on two complete different, I mean we were different, but at the same time there was still a common ground. Like okay,
Right.
one, we both like consensual porn, which is a very big deal because if you know anything about the porn
Mm,
world, like you can find some shady ass shit out there. But
Right.
also, we're not really into like rough stuff. Neither of us really like watching like super rough stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But we like a little bit of like bondagey type stuff. And so that is like where our compatibility meets. And then the other things, maybe we'll find not necessarily outside of the relationship, it could be, but just we might find that in other ways when we like pleasure ourselves, right? So
Right.
sexual compatibility doesn't mean that it has to be perfectly compatible to be together or to enjoy each other. You know what I mean? Like we're not going to
Right.
fulfill everything that we enjoy.
Right. But
So,
you found common ground
yeah.
and you have more things to explore.
Yes. Yeah.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you don't have those things, then that could be a reason.
Yeah.
Um, this might go with diet. The next one was physical and mental health.
Okay.
Yeah. So your sex life might be one of the first things to be affected if you or both of you is having physical or mental health issues. Things like depression, anxiety, PTSD, and any number of physical health issues can impact your sex life.
Hmm.
That also includes medication that might affect your energy level and libido,
Mm.
which is true. That is one thing I did think about when I started medication. I was like, this is going to, I mean, one of the effects is that it can affect your sex drive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
For anyone
interesting.
who's curious, I'm on depression medication. It's low
Mm.
dose.
Hmm.
That's what I was saying. I need to talk to my therapist or my psychiatrist about,
Right, right.
you know. But anyway, all that aside, that was something I did think about.
Hmm. Interesting. I
Right.
wonder, is that because it's like the the point is to like balance out like levels in like whatever like your brain chemicals? Is that why? Like it affects that? Or
Yes. Yes,
hmm.
at like a high level, but I couldn't tell you like exactly what it's doing.
Right, fair. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
So,
Hmm.
yeah, but that I mean that makes sense. Did you guys have less sex when you broke your foot?
Yes, actually. Like
Mm.
I don't think we fucked at all actually. Like
Oh.
maybe I don't think so because like this is like actually really interesting because like we did other things. We just didn't do like that thing. But it was because like Ben is very in his head. He's like a very
Mm.
like what do you call that?
Overthinker.
Like overthinker but like a very like brain heavy person. I don't know what to say. He's just
Okay.
like always in his head. And
Right.
so like he really can't turn his brain off in those ways. So like it wasn't like so like when I had surgery on my foot like over a year ago or whatever, like it was
Mhm.
kind of the same where he was like, I feel like I'm gonna hurt you. And I know I'm not gonna
Oh.
hurt you, but like it feels that way. And I'm like, just do it. But my clumsy ass, I probably would hurt myself. And then it would be like, see, this is why. So like, you know what I mean? So it was really interesting. So we had to figure out like workarounds for that.
Yeah.
Um, but it didn't affect my libido, but also like not much affects my libido. Like you know this. I don't always think things through. So see,
Right.
self-awareness.
Right. Yeah. Fair. Fair.
So I'm like, yeah, let's go. But like my body is truly not in the state to like, yeah, let's go. You know.
Right.
So we
Right.
did have to be patient. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, next one is big life changes. So, part of being in a relationship is that you face life together with its ups, downs, and changes. Big life
Mm,
changes like having kids, moving, deaths, and just going through the motions of life can all affect your sex life.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And the last one is your relationship. Of course, one of the biggest factors is how your relationship is overall. You can have a fantastic relationship and not prioritize sexual compatibility. But if it's important to you in your relationship, or no, but if it's important to you and your relationship needs work overall, then
Mhm.
any issues in the relationship can negatively affect your sexual compatibility.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That totally makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah,
there we go. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. All right, so let's talk a little bit percentages.
Love a good percentage.
Love a good percentage. So we are back to the dating sites. Thank you, Okay Cupid, this time. Um, it's Okay Cupid UK. That's where this survey is from. So they surveyed 2,000 adults, and these were some of the stats they found. So unfortunately, sexual incompatibility can occur for many reasons, not just mismatched sex drives.
Mm.
27% of those surveyed revealed that they don't feel their partner tries to meet their needs sexually.
Hmm.
Other factors that lead couples to believe they're sexually incompatible include a lack of communication about sexual desires, which was 18%, diminished confidence, which was 16%, and being with partners that aren't open to trying new things, which was 17%.
Damn. Yeah, I will call can't relate on this because sexual compatibility was always one of the only things that I was looking for, which was kind of the problem. In
True.
the past, it was kind of the problem. But that was one thing that for me, like I was never coy about. I was like, look, if you are not gonna rock my world in the bedroom, or at least
Mm.
like rock the bed, I don't know, do something.
Something's needs to be rocking. Yeah.
Yeah, yes,
Mhm.
exactly. It's just not gonna work. Like I'm way too forward of a person to be with somebody that's like, I don't know. Like, no, you need to figure it out. Like we've
Yeah.
talked about this, you know.
Yes.
Do
Yeah.
what you need to do to prepare yourself. And it does not mean that necessarily the size has to be amazing. It doesn't mean that the person has to be the most physically fit or like the, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean like it's
Right.
not those
Those
superficial things, you know?
right. Not at all. Yeah.
Of the brain. It's like when the mood catches you. It's about being honest, right? Like I know that like a lot of, you know, tropes in like movies and stuff like make it as if like the guy is like weird about it and like you don't need to be weird about it. Like
Yeah.
that is not healthy.
Right.
Like, you
Right.
know. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. What about you? Have you ever had somebody that you felt like was not sexually compatible?
Um, I don't think I've thought of it in those terms.
No,
Like
that's
I've just
fair.
thought like that wasn't good, you know?
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah.
But as we know, I haven't had a lot of follow-up to that to like teach someone or,
Yeah,
or
that's
be
fair.
taught even. Who knows, maybe someone's walking away saying, that wasn't great, Morgan.
Yeah. Well, wait, have you ever had someone ask you to do something in the bedroom where you were like, not really into it?
I mean, everyone asks about an anal.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just met you 20 minutes ago. For 2 hours. Come on. Come on, guys. I'm not that bad sometimes.
Yeah. Let's not pretend we haven't been there.
Right.
15 minutes is quick though. Like that's like not even the Uber ride.
That's I know. But yeah, not we talked about this. I'm not opposed to anal. I just,
Yeah.
you know, I feel like I would need to be a little more comfortable in some,
Oh yeah.
certain situations.
Yeah,
So,
setting needs to be right, you know.
right.
Full moon,
So,
whatever.
but it's not like they were like, well, I'm only here for anal.
I know. Well, that's not what you're gonna do.
Right. Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. What about you?
Yeah, this guy just comes to mind. He kept asking me to spit on it, and I was like, I don't, I don't, I don't want to spit on it. I don't. It just felt like
Oh,
he was really into it, and I was just like,
he might have a kink or a fetish for
oh,
that.
for sure. He's like, get
Yeah.
sloppy with it, and I was like, I'm not gonna
Oh.
get sloppy with it.
Hmm.
No, I don't even like sloppy
Okay.
joes. Like
Oh. Mm-mm.
it's sloppy. It's everywhere, you know. Yeah, he kept requesting that, and I just like I
What
didn't
if
do
he
it.
requested to ask to watch you eat a sloppy Joe?
Honestly, that's more than most guys have bought me. So like if he's gonna pay for me to get a sandwich, like
Right? Fair. That's true. I would do it for money.
yeah, yeah, no, definitely. Exactly. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna pay me for my time, like there's little that I won't do. I mean, there's a lot in reality that I wouldn't do, but like
Mm,
the list gets
yeah.
shorter, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The off limits list.
I wonder do you think there's a market for that? Like well, I guess mukbangs and stuff like that. Like people like watching people eat.
Oh yeah. And I'm sure there's like OnlyFans channels of like watching
Well, that's what
nude
I was gonna
people.
say. We can add it. I feel like we haven't brought up our OnlyFans in a while.
Oh, I
Our
know.
future OnlyFans.
I know
Should we
you
add
say it
that
like
on
it's
there?
current.
I know.
We haven't dropped that link in a while. It doesn't
Right.
exist yet, folks.
Yeah.
I know, wrong gals.
Yeah.
With a Z.
With a Z.
Spicy.
Eating sloppy joes.
Yeah.
$5.99 a minute.
Oh my god, you know, there's people out there that would definitely pay.
Oh
You
yeah.
know? I mean,
Yeah.
you could like be in lingerie, but like you could honestly also not be in lingerie and someone would pay to just watch you eat a sloppy joe just because of like, it's so messy, you know?
Right.
That's a thing. I don't know, I'm
Hmm.
kind of into it. I don't know. See.
Right. Into watching it or into doing it?
I don't mind. Voyeur
Yeah. I
involved.
wouldn't. Yeah. I wouldn't mind eating some sloppy joes for
Yeah.
money.
Oh,
I'll see. All right.
we'll think about
Making
it.
note of that. Yeah. Anyway, back to our survey. What? All right. So it goes on to say, but there is hope because obviously those numbers weren't great. And a lot of it is people not communicating. Not everyone's
Mm,
Ryann. They're not just gonna, wear it on their sleeve.
that is true. That is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 53% of people agree that sexual compatibility is something that can be worked on and solved. And 37% would consider seeing a professional for help.
Hmm, that's good. At least they're
Yeah.
open to getting help, you know?
Yeah. We love getting help. We love it. Um so like we were saying, it goes on to say the most important thing is communication. 70% of adults believe that sexual compatibility should be addressed with a new partner.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
means there's 30% that don't.
Ugh, I know. Fuck them.
What are you doing?
I know.
But are you? Like, are they? Fuck them, but like maybe it's bummer,
It is a bummer. I don't know. Just be like honest, folks. Like, just talk about whatever it is. Like, I mean, I think the problem from my perspective is usually that people are just really scared of being shamed for whatever it is that
Mm,
they like. You know, we live in like a shame porn society. You know what I mean? Like people
yeah.
love to see people shamed. Like, yeah, she got hers. Like, why did she even get hers? You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's some shitty ass people out there, but it doesn't necessarily mean that everyone just needs to be shamed to like humble them, right? Like, I just feel like if you meet someone that you can be like, no matter what, you can be yourself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
share that part too. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a very open person, but it was a little bit awkward at first, like when me and Ben like first decided to like, dive into sexuality, and like really get into like the nitty-gritty. But it's only going to drive you closer, right? Like it's only going to give that person even more insight into like what you are, who you are, right?
Right.
Which I know is scary for people that don't like to be vulnerable, people that don't trust. Present company excluded, obviously, but
Yeah. Who's that? Who are
yeah.
those people?
But no, I think I get it. I get why that's tough. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not the most comfortable conversation, but you end up being closer to that person. And you end up getting more of what you want. Like that's the thing, right? It's not just even about connecting. It's more so about really getting what you want out of it. Because
Right.
otherwise, like, so lose lose.
Lose, lose. Well said.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we do about sexual compatibility? What do we do? Um, I just have to say there are a lot of articles from bridal and wedding websites about this, which yeah, Ryan's eyes are getting huge.
I know. If that's the first time you're thinking about this or like
Yeah.
worried about it.
Oh, speaking of, okay, so during the research, I fell down a rabbit hole of this like Christian blog
Oh, dear God.
about
Here we go.
saying that sexual compatibility should not be important. Like your relationship is with God first and then, yeah, if you love the person. It was, yeah, I didn't include it because,
What?
we're not here to judge anyone's religion
Right.
or beliefs or whatever, but
A
I
little
was
bit,
like,
but
I mean, we're not here to do anything else either, but
right. Yeah.
but but yes, no, I just and I was like, should I? Oh no. But since we're talking about it, I'll bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was like, I'm a hip, urban, young, cool Christian man who believes that because he was a counselor at like a Christian summer camp. And he's like,
Okay.
sexual compatibility kept coming up, and I just kept brushing it off. And I was like, so all these teenagers who are trying to understand like sexuality and are having the courage to say something to someone like a counselor.
Right.
eh,
You're just like,
Okay.
no, haha, like let's just brush that
Right.
off.
Right. This is why we have people who don't understand that not using protection means you're going to have a baby or can get an STI. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
go see our contraception episode, people, if you want to jump on this train because
Yeah.
education is so important.
I know. It's not going to stop them from having sex, ignoring it.
Right.
You're just giving them the pass to go on Google and find some random article that they think answers all their problems, which like
Right.
don't get me wrong, Google is a very strong tool. However, like it definitely means a lot more from people with experience that you know and trust that you're asking those questions, right? Which is why like me and Morgan like always really like having these conversations because these weren't things we learned growing up. Like
Right. I
so.
mean, my friends were pretty, we were talking about a bunch of shit. But
Well,
you're
that's what I'm
right.
saying,
Not in
but
like an
friends.
actual, yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Not from a class, not from, from something formal.
Yes, a lot of these articles were from wedding websites, which people do wait until marriage. So I guess, you know what I mean? They're not just putting out these articles for no one, but
No, that's definitely true. I mean, yeah, I know people. We both know people that definitely waited until they were married. I just could not imagine doing that. Like, there's no way in hell. I mean, and also that's the thing. Like, sometimes that's a misnomer because just because they wait for like the actual sex of like penetration doesn't necessarily mean that they waited for other things, right? That's usually the
true.
case.
That's a
And
good
obviously,
point.
right. And obviously, we're talking about like cis heteronormative relationships, right? Like, that's
Yeah.
typically who you hear this rhetoric from. Not saying there aren't, couples out there. There could be like queer, non binary couples that do this. I have no idea. But generally, it's from cis heteronormative couples, particularly that are religious, right? And so, like, I just already know that usually that goes hand in hand with being very conservative, right? Like, having these very conservative views and mindsets on sex. However, we know that like most of the population does watch porn, most of the population does still partake in sexual, interested things, right? Especially on the internet. So it's just interesting because it's like, so you know what you like, you probably have explored it yourself, right? However, you're going to wait until after you are with this person for hopefully the rest of your lives to find out if you are compatible or not. Like that is wild. That is a wild thought. Like I could
Yeah.
not imagine. I don't even want kids. You know? Like so wild.
True, true. But maybe this is for the people who are like, oh, he asked me to marry him, or something, or they asked me to marry them, whatever the, situation is. But you're like, but our sexual compatibility isn't great. Maybe that's who this article's for.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, that's being generous, but I'll go with it.
Okay. All right. So, it goes, well, it starts off if you're wondering how important it is, sexual compatibility could be the difference between being sexually satisfied and sexually frustrated.
Mm,
A Goop survey found only 37% of people feel they have great sex with their partner.
damn.
I know. 37.
Damn.
I know. But we don't have more context. Just great sex with their partner. They're
I
like,
mean, yeah, yeah, because it's probably on a scale of like, great, and then like adequate, and then like, or whatever.
yeah.
Um, But still, I mean, that's the thing, like, I don't know. I mean, I do think that there are a lot of couples that if you are having sex with your partner for the sole reason of having kids,
Mhm.
like, you don't need amazing sex or great sex, right? You just need adequate sex. You just need sex to happen, right? And
Right.
like, we know that for like a lot of people, there are asexual people or asexual spectrum people that maybe just want kids and, like, will do what they have to do to get those, or people that are
Handmaid's
just more
Tale style.
oh, don't put it like that. Jesus Christ. Oh, which I don't know if you're watching the new season, but it
No,
is so good. Holy
don't
shit.
tell me anything.
Oh, it's amazing. It's so satisfying. But
I know. I'm not caught up. There's so much to get through. I need to
yeah,
like
but
sit
it's
and commit. I know. I know.
actually, I wouldn't even say sit and commit. It's a lot. I would not binge watch The Handmaid's Tale. Like,
That's why I
binge
had to
watched,
stop.
yeah. I binge watch a few episodes at a time, but now that
Yeah.
I'm caught up, I don't obviously. But yeah, it's like so heavy that like you
Yeah.
need to go watch, Great British Baking
Yeah.
Show after that.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Well, I just started the new season of American Horror Story that came out.
I just saw the preview for that.
You should watch it. I think you would like this season. It's all about the queer community, the queer movement in
Mm.
the early 80s in New York.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
And
Okay.
they
Hmm.
one that's one thing I do like about American Horror Story or just stuff that Ryan Murphy does. He always ties in either different things from pop culture or different figures and things. So I've already
Yeah.
recognized a few people and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's awesome."
Nice.
Like
That's
so
interesting. Yeah.
it's gonna be good.
Nice. I'll
So,
look forward to that.
okay, back to the knot. So, where were we? Okay, so 37% aren't having great sex. Or no, only
Yeah.
37% are
Are
having
having
great
great
sex.
sex. Yeah.
Which means that how many aren't?
63.
63. Good job. Um,
Quick maths, as they say in the UK.
they so the remaining respondents wish their needs were met and they could ask for what they want more often.
Damn.
Yeah, two-way
Fucking
street.
bleak, man. I
It
know.
is. It is. That's okay. We end on something fun. So,
Nice.
so what can you do? All right. We love a good list. We love some tips. So here we go. Some of the best questions to ask your partner and the types of conversations you should have to increase your sexual compatibility. So, number one, how do you like sex to be initiated?
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this one says everyone likes sex to be initiated in a different way. So ask your partner what their preference is. If you're not initiating in a way that makes your partner feel connected, desired, or valued, you might be met with the cold shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. Not everyone loves spontaneity. Not everyone wants to just be taken charge of, like
Right.
some people do like it to be a little bit more planned out, right? And like, let's have a romantic night, which is like a hint, hint, nudge, nudge kind of thing. But I respect that too, but I'm more in the business of take it off right now. So
I was going to ask you if you guys have a schedule, but I know you don't need one. You will
um
find the time.
yeah. Yes, we will find the time. That is true. Also, too, though, it is really interesting now being in like a very long-term committed relationship because I can respect the fact that like people with kids do not have as much sex typically, not always. We know that is not always the norm for everyone, but just generally that's like kind of the trope or the stereotype, I guess. However, I will say like I do think that it's important to like recognize that like sex cannot be the focal point of your relationship unless like no, actually I'm just going to say I just don't think that it can because even a person like me who knows I like it, like I know Ben likes it, like I know we are very sexual people, we are not having sex like every day all the time or like like there's weeks that have gone by where I'm busy, he's busy, we're stressed out, we have things to do and it's just like, yeah, I'm still really attracted to you. We might have some like hot moments, but like I just can't mentally get into the mindset of sex right now. Like that's just
Yeah.
not where my mind can go. Sorry, have too much on the brain kind of thing, you know? But
Mm-hmm.
we talk about that like, oh, like I'm horny, but like, oh, I know, me too, but like we just can't do it right now. So I will say I do have respect for the fact that like it's not a focal point. So sexual compatibility is important, yes. However, this isn't meant to shame anyone who feels like maybe that's not something that you feel like is so important. Um, but I would check in with your partner to make sure that you were on the same page about, you know,
Mm,
where on your priorities list it falls. You know
right.
what I mean? I think for
Yeah.
us, it's like maybe number 2 or 3, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like communication is up there, you know, like, you know, taking care of like our family and household is probably like number 2, I'd say. And then like probably sexual compatibility would be like 3. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's a good way of looking at it. I like that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So, number 2 is, what are some sexual practices that don't align with your values?
Mm.
So, there are millions of sexual acts out there. Millions. They have a list?
I know, right? I know. Where's this?
Yeah. Uh, and you likely have your preferences. Sometimes these sexual preferences are tied to values, and when they're different from your partner's, it could make you feel as though you're sexually incompatible.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you think of an example?
Of like,
So it says values. I feel like values is a very specific word. Like,
yeah. When
what
you
are some
said that, I was trying to.
sexual practices that don't align with your values? Like, is there like a
Oh,
group of people who like don't give blowjobs?
ugh,
Or you
yeah.
know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying though?
yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean,
I mean, yes. I've definitely heard people say that. Like, like I don't want to. Like,
but
you
is
don't
that a
want to what?
value?
No, but I was gonna say, okay, like a value for me is that like I am in some ways a feminist. In some ways, I don't like feminist rhetoric because I do think like some of it's kind of stupid. However, I am a feminist in the ways that like matter, right? Like equal rights, like don't care about like who pays for what, or like, you know, like
Yeah.
don't care about being, well, we talked about that. Don't want to be doted on, but like sometimes I need to be doted on. You know what I mean? However, in the bedroom, I want to be submissive as whatever. Like I'm like, oh, you can tell me what to do. Like I don't mind. Like those things don't bother me. You
Yeah.
know, I feel like being overpowered is completely fine. I don't feel, I mean, again, this is like a lot of trust. This is not everyone. This is not every sexual
Right. I was gonna
experience.
say, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh
This is a
yeah.
lot of like built trust.
Right.
Um, but yeah, you know, throw me around. Like, I don't care, you know, tell me to put my hands down and like tell me, you know what I mean? Whereas in
Right.
like a regular life, I'm like, don't tell me to do shit. Like, you know. So
Right.
in that way, like Morgan said, I can be very stubborn. But in that way, I'd say for sure, like that doesn't necessarily align with my values in like life. Um, I think that would qualify. I think.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll be
I mm, I think it's the opposite of what you're saying.
oh really?
Yeah. Because you're saying your values are that, like, I mean, let's just be super generic. Like, you're a feminist, like, you're a strong, independent woman. Okay. But you're saying that you like the opposite in bed. Like, I think that if the values were you're a strong, independent woman and that's how you are in bed too, and nobody can tell you otherwise, that would be your value. Like, you wouldn't like a guy who
I
would
thought what
to
you
be a
said
dominant.
though was that doesn't align with your values.
Right.
Yeah, so that
What
doesn't
are
align with my values for a man to be like the dominant, like
Oh no, this
having
is
his way
saying,
with
so
me.
like, what are some sexual practices that don't align with your values? Like, um, I don't
Oh.
know. That's what I'm saying. Like, is
Oh,
there
so
like,
like then if I was like a very traditional, like the man should be
right, like if your personality was like, my husband is my keeper,
uh-huh.
and then you were also submissive in the bedroom, those would be aligning values. So if you were with a partner who wanted to be the submissive, but you're like, no, I'm the submissive, that would mean you two would not be sexually compatible.
Oh. Okay. Oh, then I don't know.
I know that's hard. I mean, that's what I'm
Doesn't.
saying. I don't know if there's some specific. I mean, I guess if you are waiting
Mm.
until marriage and your partner's not, I mean, we're trying to think of like sexual acts that people are gonna
Yeah.
do and don't do, but like maybe we should be broader and say like
Okay. Okay.
if
Hmm.
like you want to wait and someone else doesn't, if you're not gonna budge or they're not gonna wait, those
Mm-hmm.
you're not sexually compatible.
Mm.
So
So you're saying that so in the bedroom that your partner's values don't align with yours.
right.
Oh, I thought you were just
Right.
saying like a value that in real life you cherish and you appreciate, but in the bedroom you're kind of
Right.
like conflicting that.
Right. I think this would be more like your not sexual identity, maybe like your sexual not like preference because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that means something else too. I don't know. Because it's not like fantasy because maybe you guys do this all the time. Maybe this is your normal sex, so it
Right.
wouldn't be something out of the norm of that realm.
Right. Hmm.
Hmm.
I have to think on that. I don't know.
Yeah. New
Hmm.
episode topic coming at you soon.
Yeah.
Uh Okay. Oh my God. There's literally an example in the next line. We just spent like 10 minutes talking about that.
Oh
Read your
my
notes, Morgan.
God.
So, example from the article says, for instance, if your partner enjoys threesomes, uh, but you don't because you think sex is sacred and should be exclusively with a partner, you may be at odds about it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is interesting because me and Ben were just talking about this not too long ago. I
You
was
guys are
asked.
always talking about this, but go ahead.
Yeah, this wasn't the first conversation. It's not the last. But we were talking about like, how our open relationship would look, when and if we decide to get there, right? And the biggest thing about it for us, for our specific relationship is that open does not mean that we are on the prowl all the time. All it means is that there's no need to shut ourselves off to the fact that like we will still find people attractive and maybe in the future want to be with someone else. That's like honestly it. And also
Yeah.
that like flirting is like nothing and none of us care.
Yeah.
But we were talking about possible threesomes and I was like, interesting. I was like, because I'd really be interested. I mean, I'd be interested for a lot of things. Let's just be real here. However, I was like, would you be a voyeur if I was getting fucked by another guy? I don't
Hmm.
know if I want to say all this. Should I?
I mean, I don't know. Do you think Ben will care?
No, no, I'll say it. Okay, we'll
Okay.
start. So I was bringing up the idea of if he would be a voyeur to me being with another guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know. I mean, if you really wanted to do it, like maybe. He was like, but I don't know. It doesn't really like speak to me. I was like, okay. I was like, but what about
It's
with
just not
another?
speaking to me.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
like he's looking
exactly.
at some art. Like,
Right.
I love that. I love that. That's
Oh,
funny.
but then I was like, okay, but what about with like another girl, another woman, And he was like, yeah, like I'd totally be down. And I was like, this is interesting. Which of course, yeah, of
Yeah.
course, like of course. And I was like, but what if we met a couple and we liked them both, we really hit it off, and then like we just kind of did like a swapperoo kind of thing. And he's like, okay, yeah, like I would definitely be into that as well. So I was like, so this is
Okay.
interesting, right? Because like in that way our values do align because like I would much rather want to be with a girl anyway or with a woman, instead of another man because like men are trash. Like let's just be real. Like the probability of me meeting another woman versus meeting another woman, like it's like 10 to 1 kind of thing. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like it's very unlikely that I'll meet another guy that I'd want to do something with. Maybe, who knows? So that was really interesting because I was like, our values align on that as well. So that might be the road that we, head down.
Venture down. Okay. So would you guys be like swingers? Is that what you mean by like?
I don't think so. I don't think so because I think that that's a little bit too like dating appy planned, right? Where it's like,
Mm,
hopefully you find someone in this group, you know what I mean? Unless we got invited by like a really cool people that we already liked.
yeah.
But I don't think we'd want to just be like, put all your rings in there and whoever's ring you pull out is like who you end up with. Like, no, they'd have to be very specific. It would have to be like a very mood is right. This feels good. Let's like continue this, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
What is it called when you're the person who likes to be watched? Like the voyeur is the one
Oh,
who likes to watch, but
watch. Right.
what is it called when you're the person who likes to be
I
watched?
don't know. That's a good question. The voyeur.
Is it the voyeur?
I have no idea.
Okay, so we looked it up. The person who likes to be watched is an exhibitionist.
Oh,
Which,
duh.
yeah, we talked about this.
I know. I was literally thinking, I was like, yeah, that's me. Duh.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's totally you. Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah.
you a little bit. We've talked about that as well. Yeah.
When the occasion calls for it.
Like I said.
Okay, so number 3 is what does it mean to have sex and one or both of you don't climax? So that would be a question to have a conversation about.
I don't know. I think that would be like that's like comfortable sex, honestly. Like the climax is not always the end all be all. It's not even always the goal. Sometimes you just like need to get some frustration out in a healthy way. And
Mm-hmm.
like, you just need to get into it sometimes, Sometimes you
Yeah,
don't have time.
right. Go burn a
So,
couple calories.
seriously, and just like work it out a little bit. It's
Mm-hmm.
a huge stress reliever. Like that one, that is underrated for the sex category. Like
Yeah.
it really is. Yeah.
Well, it says some people think orgasms are the hallmark of good sex, but is that always the case?
Nope.
Um, so this was according to a therapist they had interviewed throughout this, but she says ask your partner how they feel when one or both of you don't orgasm. If your partner is only satisfied when they orgasm and you aren't, perhaps see if you can compromise by finding other ways to find satisfaction outside of orgasm.
Hmm.
She also explains that taking away the pressure to orgasm every single time gives you both the chance to explore the possibilities.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. The next one is what does intimacy mean and look like to you?
Ooh. Yeah, we need to do a whole episode on this because this is super interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So, did we do intimacy?
Mm-mm.
No.
We've
Okay.
talked about intimacy, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So it says intimacy is often synonymous with sex, but it doesn't have to be. Find out what intimacy outside of sex looks like for both you and your lover. uh it was and then it goes on to say so check in with one another, see what's going on in your life, and maybe it is like physical touch and things like that. It's not necessarily intercourse every time.
Right, 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 right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Yeah.
So next one is what are some of your fantasies? So sexual
Me?
fantasy. Yeah. Right, we don't have enough time.
I know. Just pull out my book right here now.
Right, yeah, your million different sex acts
Yeah.
book. We'll put it in the sex journal. Haven't talked
uh,
about that in a while either.
TM,
TM
TM,
TM.
TM.
So, sexual fantasies can not only spice up your sex life as a couple, they can also make you feel closer to your partner and more sexually fulfilled if you explore them together. Have a conversation and explore one another's fantasies, but also keep in mind they can remain just that. So, it can just be the conversation.
Hmm.
Not for Ryann, but for others.
No, I mean, I will say, like, we do still, do some dirty talking for sure, like outside of the bedroom and stuff. No, it's important. I mean, yeah, I think as you get comfortable, you start to explore a lot of different things that maybe hadn't been important, before.
Right.
But also too, I'm starting to realize, yeah, that like orgasming really, like, don't get me wrong, get it in when you want, like if that's what you need, whatever. But like it is quite overrated. And I am starting to understand why women don't typically climax until later in their life because it
Mm,
does take it's so different. And it's
yeah.
not just mental, it's just everything. Like
Yeah.
it's the way you feel about your body, the way you feel about somebody else touching your body. Like it's so many factors, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it totally makes sense why women's sex toys are so popular as well, because like, yeah, I don't know. I still feel that like it's super important to know how to make yourself climax without somebody else, because I don't know if that other person's always going to make that happen for you.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
True. Um, Number 6, how often do you like to have sex? So,
Me.
not you. We already know. A 2017 study monitored the sexual behavior of 26,000 individuals between 1989 and 2014. The study found the average couple has sex an average couple, average. It's just a lot of average in this
Yeah.
sentence. Sorry, I miswrote it, but it says it twice. The study found the average couple has sex an average of once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it says, be honest about how often you'd like to have sex and find out how your partner feels about it too. If you have extremely different libidos, this doesn't have to be a deal breaker. Consider exploring alternatives. For example, if you have a higher libido partner, you could decide that instead of having penetrative sex more often, you'll be up for foreplay or buy sex toys and masturbate as an alternative.
Yes, exactly. Stop shaming people for masturbating. It's so weird.
It is so weird, but that
Yeah.
would be kind of funny to be like, I don't want to have sex, but you can go masturbate. I feel like it'd be weird to tell someone like you have permission to go masturbate because it's like,
Well,
don't they already have that?
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, I don't know. I feel like people hide it from each other. I really do. I feel like people hide it from each other. Like, I mean, and I'm saying this from experience. Like, I have felt in the past like masturbating was not okay in a relationship. And I
Mm,
brought that into this one. And, but I like early on, we were like talking about it. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's like normal. Like, I can tell you that I masturbated or that I feel like I'm going to, or, or whatever. Um, but yeah, never like give that up, like just because you have a partner doesn't mean that like you're not going to have alone time, that you're not going to be apart, that you're not going to feel like it all the time, like
right.
so. Yeah, that's an important part. Yeah. And
Right.
sex toys are fun. They are expensive, don't get me wrong.
Right.
The good ones.
The good ones. True.
um but yeah, that's a fun intimate experience to share, going to sex
Yeah,
shops, talking about stuff.
that's true. That's true. Should we put that on our list of first date options from our other episode?
I mean, honestly, look, like I said, if you're into it, you're into it. I mean,
Yeah,
that actually be a really fun first date. And they're very nice in there and very like, they're watching. So no funny business. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's expensive. They've
Yeah.
got eyes on you in every corner.
Yeah. Exactly.
Um, it also mentions remember neither a lower or higher sex drive is wrong. It's about empathizing with one another and finding a way to ensure you're both satisfied.
Yeah, exactly. Get
And
yours.
number seven, what'd you say?
I said, get yours.
Oh, yes. Number 7 is how do we talk about things that are going well and things that aren't?
Hmm.
So, regular talk about how your sex life is going is a way to ensure that you and your partner are on the same page. She says you should think about how to do that, which includes agreeing on cadence and what aspect of your sex life to check in about.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I think, yeah, thinking about, because you don't want to be like, you're not good at that. Right? Is that just me?
No, that's I mean, there's ways to say it. You can be honest about the fact that like something that they have done with previous partners that maybe worked for their previous partner,
Mm,
or they didn't check in if their previous partner even liked that and they're just doing it because that's what they've seen or that's what they expect that, type of person to like, does not mean that like it'll work for you, right? And so you can definitely be like, hey, like again, I know this sounds awkward or feels awkward, but it's like, hey, like, when you do that thing, or whatever, like, I kind of like it this way, or like, or while they're doing it, like, oh, try this, like, this is what I like, which is
right.
why I go back to, again, like figuring out like what type of porn each other's likes, like not for just the sole purpose of like being nosy or something, although I am nosy. However, not that just that reason, but just to see like what are those people doing? Like what is turning him on about that, you know? And what
Right.
can you kind of incorporate, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. True. All right, so those are the 7 tips to broach the conversation
Mm.
if you're not going to break up. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, whatever.
So, to wrap up today's episode, let's take it to the stars. We're talking about astrology.
Yeah, okay. God, I was like, please don't tell me what fucking yeah. Don't yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, astrology. I was going to
Good.
talk about something very serious.
Yeah.
So, um as you guys may or may not know from other episodes, Ryann is a Libra. Happy Libra season. I am a
Yeah.
Sagittarius. Happy almost Sagittarius season to me.
No, it's
Thanks,
not.
Ryann. Um, so I looked up our sexual compatibility.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So Libra, which, if you guys aren't sure, is September 23rd through October 22nd. And I only did these 2 because we don't have enough time. This would be like a 3-hour episode.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, your sexual style. Okay, let's see how accurate this is. The sophisticated Libra is an intellectual and a perfectionist,
Mm.
an excellent bedmate if a bit detached.
I mean, honestly, go off. Kind of fits.
The the high-minded sign approaches sex with a mental bent and is often intrigued by erotica and new conceptual approaches to pleasure.
Yep.
You're highbrow.
Yeah. I am. Oh my God, that's so true. There's so many times that I do not mean to talk about porn all the time, but it's just a good reference because there's so many times where I'm watching porn and I'm like, this isn't good enough. Like, no, not
Is it like the
believable.
quality or is it like the
No, some of the best, like the best quality porn is just like not believable. Like, stop
Oh,
moaning so much. Nobody moans that much.
yeah.
Like it's so excessive. Like, stop it. That's not selling it for me. Maybe that's doing it for like most of the demographic that watches it. I don't know, but like that shit gets on my nerves. Like, that's not proving to me that you're enjoying it more. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But yeah, it is an intellectual thing, which is the same that I was saying about Ben. Like, it's like an intellectual thing. It has to be like the mind
Yes.
has to be right, right? Like it has
Right.
to
See,
feel
this is
right.
what you were well, I guess you weren't saying this exactly, but when we were talking about like being able to orgasm like just by thinking about something, you said you
Hmm.
didn't think it could happen. Do you
But
still
now
believe
that I'm
that?
thinking about it, no, I think I
You
could get
just
pretty
came?
close.
Right, you could get pretty close, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely mental bent is what it said, but yes,
I like
highbrow.
that. Gonna
Yeah.
get that tattooed on my
Also, I
ass.
want mental bent. Nice.
Mental Ben.
Uh be- he won't get it. Also, just side note, I watched this movie which you would hate, but it's called X. It's a horror movie. It came out like a year or two ago. But the premise is like it's the 70s and they rent out like this rural like side house on this farm to make a porno. So
Nice.
it's like got like very 70s like porno vibes. It has Kid Cudi, it has Brittany Snow. It
Hmm.
was good. I mean, it's very like sexual and then very gory because it is a horror movie.
Yeah.
So I don't think you would like it, but
No.
like I think you might like it. Like you
No.
should give it a chance. No?
Maybe like the first 20 minutes.
Probably. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. You're right. Fair enough. Okay. It goes on to say that you're open-minded but refined, and you'll probably go along with anything as long as it's not too gnarly.
I love these words. Yes,
Yes.
that's fair. That's honestly fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm not into anything super wild, but like there's enough to go around in like the, tame and mundane. Like there's so much. It's all spectrum and like I don't need like all the bells and whistles, Like that's fun. I think if I met someone that had all the bells and whistles, you know, had a dark room or dungeon or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Dark room is not for like photographs.
That's for
whatever. Honestly, that could be a turn on too. That's what I'm saying. Like mundane and
right.
norm would be really cool. But yeah, all that pretty much checks out. Yeah, I
Okay.
feel that.
Yeah. So your sexually compatible signs. So if you're looking for that third,
Mm-hmm.
Gemini, Aquarius, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius.
Oh,
I won't be your third though. It'll change the dynamic of the podcast.
Yeah, just the podcast. That's all it would change.
Maybe Jose, he's the Leo.
Ugh, no, he's too high maintenance.
I know. He'd be such a pillow princess.
I know. I'm like, what are you even doing here? You're not adding anything to this.
Oh my God. All right, so here are your turn-ons, okay? A well-decorated bedroom, the best of everything, a night out on the town.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, those all really check out. I'm really into the let's get out of here, let's get out of here.
Oh yeah, that's
but you give the eyes like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Get out of here, get into me,
Right.
Yeah.
We knew what you meant.
Yeah.
So it says the urbane Libra gets excited by a nice situation in which to get their subdued but considerable groove on. You do not have a subdued groove.
Subdued.
You're subdued?
I could be.
You could be. Okay. Good to know. You could be. Okay.
Yeah.
And you may be too polite to say, but you dig pricey gifts.
Oh yeah, but I say that.
Okay.
It's not true. That actually makes sense because I'm not like, no, that actually is exactly what it means. I don't know how else to say it, but yes, agreed. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so turnoffs. Okay. Gross hotel sex. You'd be best to avoid taking your Libra. So if someone were dating you, okay. So Ben, if you're listening, you'd best to avoid taking your Libra camping.
Oh my God, we were just talking about camping.
Or suggesting that they rough it in any way. Ben wants to take you camping?
Yes. He like really wants to go camping. We literally have had like multiple conversations about this.
Okay, what's gonna happen when you fall and like roll your ankle and he has to carry you back like 5 miles down the trail? What's gonna happen? You better bring like one of those stretchers. And go with other people.
I know. I know. That's why I was like, we can get like a cabin. We can get a cabin with a jacuzzi and cute lights outside and running
and heating and running. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Why does he want to go camping?
Where or when?
Why?
I mean, I don't care either. I don't. Why? Because he's a guy. I have no idea. He wants to camp. He wants to rough it.
Okay. Well, tell him to go with his friends.
This is true best friendship right here. She's like, that's not you.
Right.
Get lost.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'll tell myself later. So you are not interested in lovemaking under the stars unless there's a luxury cabin with skylights is literally what it says.
The stars have done it again. They know me too well.
Yeah. You are truly a Libra.
So true. It's funny that I lost my virginity on a beach. It was the worst, but
right. It was you hated it.
I hated it.
Yeah. Covered in bug bites. It was not great.
It was not.
I mean, I don't know. It's your sexual experience. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I mean, he was French, so it was like it was a time,
I mean,
it's a story.
Like,
yeah, that's something. Yeah.
French,
Yeah, his name was like Jacques or something. Or Giannis or something like that.
Those are really different. One and two, I feel like Jacques is just like
I think it was Jacques.
Was it?
Or it was like Jean
Pierre. You're just saying
Jean-Pierre.
all the typical, like,
He
stereotypical
was, it
French
was
names.
very typical. It was very typical.
What do we know? How do we know that? We're not. We need to shut up. We need to move on.
Yes, continue.
Okay, so Sagittarius. So November 22nd to December 21st. So this is my sexual style.
Hmm.
The ardent the ardent, enthusiastic world traveler will make you feel like the only person in the world when they're in bed with you. What can I do? But if they hear the call of the open road, you might as well enjoy the view as they leave. Can't tie me down.
Wow, the accuracy.
Yeah,
Restlessness.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
Um, what's it say? So, still while you've got them, you're in for a good time. This Sagittarius is open, adventurous, and committed to having fun.
Honestly, yep.
Expect them to get lusty when in a new and exciting place. They'll love to please you and they want you to please them. They'll try anything and they'll make love anywhere.
Morgan.
I don't know if I will make love like in a
anywhere.
tent. I want a cabin too.
That's true. But what if you had someone that was like, get
I
in
would
the
do
tent?
it.
I know.
I would do it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
All right. So my sexually compatible signs are Aries, Leo, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Sagittarius wasn't on there.
We're just two people running away from each other.
Right?
You know what I mean?
You both can't get out the door fast enough.
Right.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Turn ons. Okay.
Yeah.
So turn ons are adventure. Make the archer pursue you. I like a chase, obviously. Ryan and I were just talking about this. This is why I'm into unavailable men.
Yeah.
Also, there's some things tied into my mental health, but a part of it, I think, is because I'm a Sagittarius.
Definitely. It's in the stars.
Try a weird sex position or erotic sexual technique, preferably in a far off location. Ooh, next one, Mile High Club.
Oh, you would totally
Yeah, it says meet your newest members.
That's wonderful.
Turnoffs, predictability. If you always want to stay at home and watch movies on Saturdays, your Sagittarius Sweetums is going to shrivel up from boredom. Step away from the date book and put down the remote if you want to get lucky later.
Yeah.
That's so true.
That is so true.
So accurate.
Yeah.
The stars do not lie. They've proved it once again.
Wonderful.
And if you guys want to know yours, of course, we'll always have the links and everything in the show notes because they did have all of the star signs.
Yeah, check it out.
So, yeah, there you go. Well, to wrap it up, we have to ask, are we doing this wrong?
No, I do sex so right.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say I could have done better about, I don't know, I was young, but I could have done better about understanding what sexual compatibility really looks like because it's like it says, it's not just about getting to the climax. But when you're young, I kind of feel like it's just about getting to the climax.
Yeah.
So I did it right then and I'm still doing it right now.
Oh, okay. Confidence. Yeah.
What about
you? Like I said, I don't think I thought of it in terms of sexual compatibility. I would just think of an experience and be like, that was good. That was great. That wasn't great. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
but what about like the talk leading up to it, right? Like guys you met on an app or in a bar,
there are
a
just
club.
things that are turnoffs, like
right,
100%. Yes, that's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, if we think of it in those terms,
yeah, because there's been guys that you've been like attracted to that you've met out, but then they start talking and you're just like, that's not what I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. There had to be like because I was there, well, not in the room again, guys, but like I was there at the starting point of like some of these nights. And I will say, for the most part, they were guys that like were talking to you, giving you the hints that like they were really about to like rock your world. Now, whether they did or not, I cannot
Oh
attest to.
my God. Yeah, that's true. Don't
Yeah,
talk a big game if you're not. And I'm not even saying like you have to know everything that you're doing. Like it can
right,
still be fun,
right.
but don't explicitly say that you are going to put it down and like blow my back out
Yes.
if you're not even gonna, give me like a crink in the neck. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
I
Come on.
know, I know, I know.
Do
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
Oh, well, that's sexual compatibility. We hope you guys got something out of it.
Hopefully.
I mean, we did. This was fun.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
Very fun.
uh, well, thank you guys so much as always. Can't wait to see you next week. In the meantime, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. If you have any, I don't know, no. If you want to reach out, don't forget to email us at wrongthepodcast@gmail.com. Go follow us on Instagram at wrongthepodcast. And don't forget to check out YouTube for the visual conversation.
Here we are.
Yeah. All right, guys. We will see you next time.
Yes, we will. Get sexual.
Compatible. Oh, you said sexual. Okay, try again.
Get sexually.
Sorry, I was leading you through. Okay, go. Okay, go.
Get sexually
Compatible.
Ooh.